I'm really excited to share a little bit of information about our new health and mentorship program. It's something that means the world to me because I'm seeing the caliber of people who are joining, and I feel like we can do something huge for the next generation. I look at my own upbringing and I look at the mentors who helped shape my path to health. And I think, if we could be those mentors for the next generation, that's what it's going to take to change the paradigm. We are on a bus to the future, and there is no one at the wheel. I think teens recognize that more than ever. There is no system of education so far that has prepared the current generation of adults to deal with this accelerating wave of technological change, of health issues that we're experiencing globally, of dynamic social change. We are in a wild and chaotic time. And I'm watching the effect that it's having on teens. They are looking up like we have for generations and saying, hey, I need guidance here. So, imagine a teenager says to you, I'm just wondering what is going to be a career in 2030 because I'm heading into college and I don't know if what I'm heading into college for will be something that AI can do. What say you? Most adults are like, I have no idea. And then the teenager goes, okay, cool. Well, could you at least tell me how to breathe and sleep and eat and maintain my mental health as I figure this out? And the average adult's like, I don't know. Have you tried YouTube? Listen to this podcast. That's not a slight on anybody. That's the reality of an educational system that has not prepared the current generation of adults to prepare the next generation of kids for adulthood. And we can solve this problem. For the past 10 years, Physiology First has worked with kids and families. And I mean hundreds. I'm talking about entire schools that have come to our campus, families that have come for 5, 6, 7 years at a time, after school programs where kids pour in the door, colleges globally. We have been at the helm of this because I think that it is the issue of our time for us to not only help guide these kids, but I think it's important for us to manifest our evolutionary role as mentors. I'm watching a crisis of meaning and purpose in adults who maybe haven't been guided in any like reflective exercise in how we find meaning and purpose in our lives by being problem solvers, by tackling the greatest global issues of our time, by being more than we are today, by striving for something higher, because we know there's more within us. And I think a lot of the tension and anxiety and even depression and isolation adults are feeling is this pull towards their power, their greatness, their impact. We are here to make an impact. We can. And it's essential for us. So what I'm seeing is this opportunity to solve two problems with one solution. The kids are saying, I need mentors to guide me in my health and in my life. And I'm seeing adults who are saying, I feel a little bit lost too. And I don't know that I'm making the impact on the next generation that we've evolutionarily always made. We've always handed down skills and tools. So our health mentorship program is a chance to do that. One solution, two problems. We will train you to understand the basics of health science. We're talking about breathing, sleep, exercise, nutrition, and brain health in the digital age. We will give you a skill set and a toolkit to share these skills with kids and families in your community in a really practical way. And we'll have conversations every week about the future itself, where it's going. A big part of Physiology First is obviously our physiology-based curriculum, but we've had our 21st Century Skills program running for years. We teach entrepreneurism to kids. We teach them how to navigate a rapidly evolving world. And I truly believe that those two things, mental and physical fitness, understanding how the brain and body work, and 21st century skills are the future of education. And I can tell you from experience that when we see it work, it really works. When kids are here after school and we're talking, we're guiding them in more than just exercise, but in self-leadership and showing up in the world and navigating difficult choices at a very, very difficult time, we are fulfilling our role that we are here to fulfill as adults, not just to our own kids, but to our community. And the kids are seeing the adults in the room lead from the front. So if you're interested in being part of this new initiative, we kick off April 12th with an amazing group of people. We're going to have a structured 6-week program where we really dive interactively. Like it's not just, hey, check the box. So let's do this stuff. How does breathing actually affect mental and physical fitness and stress and anxiety and mental focus? We're going to dive into the science of breath. We're going to really cover it. We're going to practice different exercises to discuss them and learn about breath from first principles. Then we're moving on to sleep. Sleep is the foundation for our mental and physical health. It's the foundation for our brain health. How do we get a great night's sleep? How do we aim for excellence instead of normalizing exhaustion? Because we can. There are skills and protocols and tools that we can use. How do we understand the principles of nutrition and get out of this dogmatic set of arguments about what diet is right and get into like the fundamentals of how human metabolism works? and how personal nutrition can be, and understand how to cook a nutritious meal for each body, then how do we build an exercise program that meets our brain and body needs and also connects us? The social element of exercise doesn't get talked about enough. All of our programs, they will strengthen muscles and bones and connective tissue, and you're going to get brain health benefits, but kids and families are doing them together. And there are additional physiological benefits as well as social, psychological benefits. And then finally, how do we understand brain health in the rapidly evolving digital world? We understand a little bit more than we ever have about how social media, for example, impacts the dopamine system. Now we're moving into the world of augmented reality, virtual reality, artificial intelligence. We need to get ahead of this. We can't write a post-mortem in 10 years, kind of like the Anxious Generation's version of the AI revolution, and say, wow, that was really bad. Well, these kids weren't prepared at all, neither were we. This is about 21st century preparedness, mentorship, and skills. So if you want to be a mentor, first cohort kicks off August 12th. We'd be honored to have you and to do something new together. Kids don't need more experts. They don't need to be shuttled from expert to expert to expert to expert, to be analyzed 10 different ways and have these contradictory lenses on what they should do. They need peer-to-peer mentorship, guidance, and adults in the room. Let's start there. Let's go back to our roots of mentorship, and let's get back to learning about ourselves together, and let's teach the next generation about the power of their physiology first. We're excited about the program. I hope you'll join us. You'll see more info in the article. Let me know if you have more questions, and let's do something great together.